Good.
Good evening.
Guten Abend, colleagues.
Albert.
Meine Güte. I thought, meine Güte, what are they doing to this place? Said, but he has been there for a reason over this time. Guten Abend, colleagues. Mein Name ist Albert Einstein.
Albert.
Good evening. Are you all feeling good or bad?
Good, thank you.
Good. Therefore, if you are feeling good, then I'm feeling even better over these times. So I'm here to answer the questions that you may have within your minds, or perhaps within your spirits. That we are there to learn together with one another. That there are many with your guides, your inspirers and so forth that are by your side, to help you and to guide you. Not only to send their love with you, because you said you are all searching for answers, are you not?
Yes.
Meine Güte. Therefore, colleague Timmy, is there opportunities to answer the questions?
Absolutely. I'll go around them one by one. Is that okay?
Das ist richtig.
Yes, yeah, that is correct. Right, what I'll do, I'll start with Angela, and I'll work along the back row, then I'll come back this way, and I'll come back that way. Okay.
Good.
So, Angela, have you got a question for Albert?
I have, thank you, yes. Good evening, Albert.
Guten Abend. Are you feeling good or bad?
I am good, thank you very much.
Good, I see that your light is starting to brighten further, both physically and spiritually. That once you're starting to believe in yourself, that you allow your spirit within to flourish within itself. Good. Therefore, I do apologize if you have the questions for myself.
Thank you. Could I ask a question around the pilot that crashed the plane in the last few days? What will happen to him when he returns home?
Ach so,
His spirit.
ach so, eine Minute bitte. We have been informed about this, what has occurred on the airplane. But I have been busy all the time with the colleagues to do this research and so forth. So I will do my very best to answer your questions. Eine Minute bitte. Ach so, good. Yes. We cannot say that, but good. Ach so, meine Güte, das ist. Ach so, yes, good, danke schön, yes, good. Therefore, that I wish to state with you with your question, that no matter in all the colleagues of all the people in the world, whatever they may have done or committed themselves to do, good or the bad, terrible or the evil, that they all go to the place of healing in one form or the other. But ultimately it's important to recognize that the atrocities in which he has committed himself to do, that it has been terrible in itself. But one must understand also that spirit must also state that we do not judge. We are there to help them, to guide them, to love them and to heal them, no matter if they have committed atrocities at different rates, unless if they want to be healed. That is the question in itself. That of course in relation to the pilot in which has committed these atrocities in itself, must judge himself what he has done unto the people on the plane itself. There are many unto the plane itself that has perished and which has physically died, but all their spirits are returned home into the spirit realms. That there are a healing process. Some of the colleagues cannot accept that they have died, because it was very terrible in its circumstances, was it not?
Yes.
Therefore I must highlight, even to the people that do evil within this world, you must at all times send your love and your light out to these people at all costs, because they need your love, they need your guidance and inspiration as much as you need with your families and your friends, do you not?
Yes.
It may be difficult, perhaps if it was my child or my family as I lived on the earth plane, perhaps I would think differently. But it is important to send your love and light out at all times, that he is there with a particular family member that is there to try to draw close to him over these times. Have I answered your question?
You have, thank you, thank you.
Bitte schön, good. Who is next with the question?
Have you got a question, love?
Lewis.
No? Sure?
Meine Güte, I do wish to speak to that of what is Karen. Guten Abend.
Hello.
Hallo, gut. Das ist sehr gut. Are you feeling good or bad?
Good.
Das ist good. Have you been listening to the advisement of spirits that have there to guide you and to help you?
I have.
Das ist sehr gut. So do you have a question for myself?
Not really, because I'm quite fortunate that Spirit can contact me directly. So.
Ach so, meine Güte.
Yeah.
So maybe or maybe not. It is important, colleague, to question all that you see, feel and experience upon your physical pathway. So I wish to highlight, where there is light, there is dark. Where there is dark, there is light. That there is people within the world that do much good for this world, but there's also people in the world that are doing acts and circumstances that are not so good. Do you understand this?
Yeah.
Where there is light, there is dark, and this will also entail with all people here into the physical earth plane. It depends on your spiritual vibration of your light. So God does not state, you have been terrible, so you are going to the level 12. It does not work in this way. It will work upon your spiritual light itself. It is important that as a quest for one that works for spirit as much as spirit works with you, it is important to question what you see, feel and experience, that your quest, your acknowledgement is the progression of your spirit to continue moving forward, to progress, to brighten your spiritual light, to share this knowledge with the world, share your principles, your philosophies, because there are many that believe in you, but do you believe in yourselves? I wanted to share these words with you because over the past 3 weeks process you have been coming to my office many times. I should meine gute colleague Karen, you are meant to be there until you choose this circle, but this is a decision that you alone can make yourselves, because it is your spiritual path, that we are there to guide you, we are there to inspire you. Do you understand this? Do you understand me, colleagues?
Yes.
Good. Seth, would you still have no questions?
Yeah, it's a case of choices, and people choose their own path.
Das ist richtig.
Yeah.
No individual, is spirit or here into the physical, must state that this is what they must do and should not do. You must also learn individually. You must make mistakes, because it is life. It is the trials and tribulations that life leads forward to you here to progress. Do you understand this? Choices and free will does truly exist, rather than what colleague Jack may have stated. Do you understand this?
Yeah.
Bitte schön.
Okay, Aidan, a question?
Yes, good day, Albert.
Good day, guten Abend.
Nice to see you again.
Yes, it is a pleasure, as always, because it is an honor to be sat here speaking to yourselves. Because as stated, that there's many here that have believed in you over this time. Do you understand this?
I do, yes.
Great. Do you have a question? Not 20 questions, one
No.
question.
It's just the trance work that I've been doing with Jacob. I've felt on very rare occasions you in the background.
Das ist richtig.
So I am right.
Das ist richtig, yes. I stated to the colleagues, not only work with this circle, but all circles should interlink and interconnect, should they not? It is not my circle and their circle. It is a union, a circle of life, a circle of learning, a circle of progression, a circle of understanding that we are there to share knowledge. That it is not myself and among thousands of others of the teachers, including Jacob himself, that wanted to pass forward his knowledge, as much as he's there to share his knowledge and teaching with you, that the colleagues themselves, as colleague Aidan, that you too have much knowledge and teachings to share with the world, is not always from spirit, so you are spirit in the physical body. Do you understand this?
I do, yes.
Good, because I have witnessed, and I wish to state this with colleague Roy and colleague Jimmy themselves, that you have much knowledge and wisdom embedded within you, that sometimes the writings and so forth that you do is not always that from your inspirers, because many times you have inspired thousands in spirit, that are so meine Güte, their words have been inspirational and so forth, which I wish to highlight with colleague Aidan as well, that writings should be done more often, read out and expressed to all the people. Do you understand this?
Yes.
Good. Good. Who's next with the questions?
Any questions, sir?
Good afternoon.
Guten Abend.
Can you tell me why spirits who've passed over as a result as being victims, particularly of crime, how they're unable to or reluctant to impart the circumstances to those on the earth plane?
Ach so, you have asked me an interesting questions, often referred to as rescue work in a circumstance. Yes, it is important to highlight that unfortunately each and every individual within this room must one day perish physically. But you all know, the proof is before you, that spirit exists. Your spirit exists. That the spirit moves forward into the spirit world. It is a process often referred to as passing overs that could last depending on the circumstance. Do you understand this? For example, if one child has been murdered, for example, that child perhaps will not accept that what has occurred to that child, and they will close themselves up from the world around them because they cannot express their feelings and their emotions. Because in spirit you do not have the physical, it is pure spiritual emotions. Is that is good or that bad through the circumstances of your passing. Even a highly evolved spirit, for example, that returned, for example, that of Princess Diana herself, has perished into circumstances that was tragic, was it not? Depending on your spiritual light and your spiritual strengths would depend how quickly you are able to understand what has occurred to that individual. But it is important that even highly evolved spirit, that has been many within this world, John Kennedy himself, Martin Luther King also, Gandhi, and so forth, highly evolved spirits that was taken with the shots of the mankind that was assassinated, was they not?
Yeah.
They do not suddenly become in the spirit world and all things are perfect, but becomes the angels of the world and all things is good. You must go through a transition. That person, that spirit has been within the physical body for 40, 50, 60, 70 earth years, physical years. Things do not suddenly become perfect within the spiritual world. Many people refer to that you go to the spiritual hospital, that you are there to be healed, to overcome the traumas of your passing, but it is only that of the mind, not of the physical, because the physical does not no longer exist. It is of emotion, of the mind, of the consciousness. Do Do you understand this?
I have a better understanding, yeah.
Meine Güte, do you understand this?
He says, do you understand it?
Yes, I have a better understanding. Thank you, Albert.
Good, bitteschön, dankeschön. Interesting questions. I wish my students of the circus would answer further questions.
Swiftly moving on, Albert. Have you got a question, love?
A little one.
Yeah, I'll just one do.
Small ones, we do not do the small things.
Good evening, Albert.
Good evening, it is a pleasure.
I just want to know if the likes of Hitler, Adolf Hitler, and people like that have done terrible, terrible atrocities in the
Yes.
past, what's going to happen to them? Nobody will pray for the likes of those. Are they going to stay in the dark forever, or is there going to be forgiveness there?
So there must be forgiveness, must there not?
But humans, there won't be enough humans that can forgive.
But you are not all working because you're not individually progressing. You must progress also as a human race, as mankind, as brothers and sisters, as fellow colleagues. You must all progress for a better future, for a peaceful future, do you not? Taking those few steps to forgive these of the people of Hitler himself. Because when I lived in Germany over this time into a place of Berlin, I escaped very early in my years. That I do not think perhaps I could have lived to the age that I did if I stayed in Germany. That I was fortunate of the spirits to escape these atrocities.
Yes.
But so many were not. There were more people murdered over this time, not only to the Jewish communities, to the gypsies, to the homosexuals as they, among thousands of religions, killed unnecessarily. But it is important that there must be forgiveness within the world. It is not only for the Jewish people, for example. If you are there to murder me into this physical body, when you return home to the spirit world, you must judge yourself upon this. But there is free will. What if you do not wish to judge yourself, you will continue. Do you understand this?
Yes, I do, but on the other hand, if there are so many people in the world that just can't forgive it,
Yes.
does that mean that the world will continue to have terrible wars all the time?
No.
Because they can't forgive that?
No, it is not, because there is always hope. Hope must be believed first into the world. Because you live with forgiveness all the time. If one has done you wrong, one made a state you wrong, perhaps people have spoken words to you that you did not like, and forgive them, because it is only the progression of your spirit. If they do not wish to accept it, then you have done your part through your consciousness on your mind that you have forgiven them. That I will tell you, it is the story of Hitler himself, because it is not secret information either, that he is returned to the earth plane. That Hitler is within the place of Britain himself, that he has returned a while ago by this time that he is now, that he was born, that or that he can no longer walk, he is in a wheelchair. Do you understand this? I cannot say to you this is where he lives, because it is universal law, but I can tell you that he still lives upon the earth plane, that he is returned very quickly. A responsible spirit, because it is free will. A responsible and highly evolved spirit, like the ones that I see beside me, here in front of myself. I see your shining lights. That you will take 200-300 years of the earth years and then you will decide to return to the earth plane once again.
Yes.
For example, you are there to have 5 children. You do not return to the spirit realms and decide after 20 years, my children are still there, I'm going to return. So it is still free will. If you wish to do this, you will do this. But because you are highly evolved spirit, you will wait for all your family to return because they expect to see you there. Do you understand this?
Yes, I do.
And then you are going to rejoin in love and in harmony. You will be doing the things together. Perhaps it has been 40 years that you have not spoken to your mother, but your mother has spoken to you. It's just that you have not heard it. That they have been with you all these years at always this time. But less evolved spirit, we are here not to judge them. It is depending on their spiritual light. That your light will flicker, and this will depend on your progression of your spirit. That is the goal of progression. This is why you are here. This is why your return to the earth plane is to progress, to experience a physical life. That yes, you can progress within the Vedic spirit, but it would take much longer. Perhaps it could take 1,000 years to learn tolerance. But here onto the earth plane, perhaps you have mastered this skill, called in a lifetime. So less evolved spirit, that colleague Hitler himself was not only responsible, because it is still personal responsibility. If I was to say to the colleague, better jump from the cliff itself, would you do this?
No.
You would not, because it is personal responsibility. And I wish to highlight this with phrase, it is a conception in relation to Hitler himself, that he might have ordered the soldiers and is generous that this is what you must do, but it is a person that has shot those thousands of people that is responsible, are they not? That in essence, that you see, yes, you see this within the way today in Russia, in North Korea. It is not the presidents or the prime ministers that are the terrible tyrants in which it is perceived. It is behind the shadows, the generals, the people that are manipulating. That is the true evil of the people. So I wish to highlight that if you see onto the streets of the world, the streets that you are walking, colleagues, and you see one that is saying terrible words, that is screaming and shouting, that is negativity, but that is not a very enlightened spirit. The true darker spirits, the true negative and evil spirits, may I add, are those that can manipulate, that hide in the shadows, and to manipulate other colleagues and so forth, that this is what you must do. Do you understand this?
Yes.
Have I answered your question?
Yes, thank you and God bless you.
Meine Güte, es ist rather interesting this evening.